US President Donald Trump watched the election of a man who he has dubbed as a dangerous communist as the mayor of New York City. For weeks now, President Trump and his allies have tried to disparage Zohran Mamdani as an extremist and a communist and a danger to New York City. But they were not able to stop the 34-year-old from becoming the first Muslim and first South Asian mayor of New York, and also one of the youngest mayors of New York City. And now, the two men, who are aged 34 and 78, appear to be headed for a showdown, pitting the young democratic socialist against a president who has already treated him as a bit of a useful foil. For Donald Trump, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is the face of the Democratic opposition. Just hours after Mamdani's improbable victory, the president said the Democrats were crazy. He painted Mamdani as the future leader of the Democratic Party, something which helps him position Mamdani as a useful idiot.
Then a guy comes along, ping, ping. These people are crazy. And Mamdani, whatever the hell his name is in New York, no. He thinks it's wonderful to have men playing in women's sports.
Trump's aides and allies acknowledged that Mamdani and New York City are likely to be the next targets of President Trump's attacks. But some also caution that Trump has a vested interest in New York's financial success because of his multiple real estate holdings in the city. The city underpins the Trump family business empire. And yet, President Trump has already threatened that he's going to withdraw federal money other than the very minimum that's required for New York City. Although legally, no president can hold back money which Congress has authorized to any state or city for that matter. When the administration has tried to withhold federal funds from cities over immigration or any other policy, it has consistently lost in court. Zohran Mamdani, for his part, also seems ready for that fight with Donald Trump. In his victory speech, he challenged Trump directly. He vowed to fight back against any federal effort that is made to meddle in New York's affairs. He even referred directly to Trump in his victory speech, asking him to turn the volume up.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Mamdani also said that he will not be cowed down by President Trump's threats and that New York City would actually become the playbook for how to defeat Trump and his MAGA political movement nationally. Mamdani, though, has very few levers to fight back against the Trump administration other than going to court. The mayor-elect has vowed to hire 200 additional lawyers to the city's legal department, partly to stand up to what he calls presidential excess. In his second term, President Trump has repeatedly shown his willingness, some would say even eagerness, to use the levers of the federal government to exact revenge on his opponents. He's already cut billions of dollars of federal grants to states and cities run by Democrats, including New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. He's also sent the National Guard to Democratic-run cities against their wishes. And he has instructed the Justice Department to prosecute his political opponents, including an Attorney General in New York. But there is a catch here. Mamdani's victory could prove useful to Trump. It could allow Trump to replicate a playbook that he has long deployed in order to demonize Democratic leaders. And the list of those Democrat leaders are long, from former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, even Hillary Clinton, who was the Democratic senator from New York and the presidential challenger in 2016, who Trump beat. He has painted all of these Democrats as loony and crazy and extremist, only to further his political agenda. Since Zohran Mamdani won this surprise victory in the Democratic primary back in June, Trump and his allies have tagged Mamdani as the future of the Democratic Party. He's used this to appeal to his MAGA base in Middle America in a bid to show that Trump is the normal and Mamdani is the deviant. And the first issue of the showdown between Trump and Mamdani has been on the rights of transgenders. Mamdani has promised to defend the rights of transgender New Yorkers and to make New York City a sanctuary city for LGBTQ residents. Trump, on the other hand, has already said that Mamdani wants to allow transgenders into women's sport. For Mamdani, he needs to be careful not to get into a trolling contest with Donald Trump. That may not be a particularly politically valuable thing to do, but he needs to also at the same time come across as standing firm against Trump where it is essential, where it is seen that Trump is waging a war against the city. So where necessary, he has to come across as standing up to the bully, but not get down into the mud and be seen as wrestling with the president. The question, though, is, and this is a balancing act, how do you, on the one hand, challenge President Trump and at the same time leave room for the idea that Mamdani is going to be a mayor for all New Yorkers, including those New Yorkers who are Trump supporters who did not vote for him. Trump, who's born and raised in New York, is deeply concerned about the affairs of the city and how it's run. His advisors have tried to meddle in the race to try and sink Mamdani's chances, but they were unsuccessful. Trump even gave a last-minute endorsement to Mamdani's challenger Andrew Cuomo, but even that could not stop him. Now, after the victory, some of the president's friends from New York are encouraging him to take a more diplomatic approach to the city and its new mayor. They've advised him not to hold back money that would help New York. They're also advising the president against sending the military into the city, like he's done in the past with Los Angeles, with Chicago, and Washington, D.C. Trump versus Mamdani could be the next big showdown in America, one whose ramifications will go well beyond the city that they both call home, New York.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.